right, so today we're reading a book called So You Want to Be President, okay? On the board, you're seeing a question that says, what are the requirements to be a president? So how many of you wrote a few things down? You may or may not know this, but the question is, what are some requirements to be president? So we'll call on a few people to ask you what you think. Michaela, what's something that you think I have to have or something you think I have to do to be president?
You can't be younger than 35.
You can't be what?
Younger than 35.
Oh, wonderful. You cannot be less than 35. Okay. Anybody else? Brian, what's your idea? What do you think?
I have a lot of stuff.
Okay. Tell us what you have.
They have to have diplomas from the college. They never had to have been expelled. They need to have graduated college and high school. They also must propose a speech telling citizens what they would do if they were president.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of stuff. Okay. And when you said they have to have a diploma, are you talking about high school?
Both.
High
College
school
and
and
high
college? Okay.
Because they need, the people that elect them, they must know that they have a good education.
Okay, so maybe a good education would be important. Dakota, what do you think we have to be president? What's another requirement?
I think you have to have courage and believe in yourself.
Have courage and believe in yourself. That's a really good one, because if I don't have courage and I don't believe in myself, how can I expect the whole country to believe in me, to make decisions for all of y'all? That's a good one. I like that. Abby, what do you think? What are some requirements that you think we must have to be president?
I said you probably have to have a book and stuff for your meetings, a desk, a computer, and glasses. Map, you can't see anything.
Okay. So a lot of y'all are giving me some age clues, and Abby said you probably have to have a book for your desk and things like that, because I'm sure the president's always busy doing work. All right, one more. We're going to take Hannah. What do you think that a president has to have?
The requirements are people have to vote for one person, and if they have the most votes, they become president, and they have to have good grades.
Okay, good grades. And I also heard you say something about they have to have the most votes, and we know that's right, because if nobody votes for you, can you win the election? No, you can't. Well, actually, to be president, there's really only 3 minimum requirements. Michaela hit on one. Pruitt, can you go ahead and show us those 3 minimum requirements? There's actually 3 minimum requirements, and I know y'all can't read this, so I'm going to read it to you. But there's 3 minimal, and then there's some other things that you could have that would be really nice. Okay? So the first minimal requirement is that you have to be a natural-born U.S. citizen. That means you can't be born in Canada and be president of the United States. You have to be born here. Natural-born means you were born here. Not that you were born in another country and you moved here. Natural-born means the day I was born, I was in the United States. Number 2, Michaela hit this one. We have to be at least 35. So could Ms. Flowers be president?
No.
I'm not at least 35. So you have to be at least 35. And one of the cool facts here is that the youngest president elected was 43. So that's pretty, not very young, but you've got to be at least 35. And the third minimal requirement is that you have to have lived in the United States for at least 14 years. So if you have not lived here at least 14 years, then you could not be elected for president. Okay? So good grades and stuff is good. And Pruitt, if you will scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit so I can read that. It says obviously a lot more is needed than this. We know that we need a lot more than just those 3 things. But the candidate must be acceptable to a large number of people across the nation. Nonetheless, these are the minimal constitutional requirements for someone to become president of the United States. So guys, in our Constitution, this is all they have. Okay? Good grades is really good. It's important. Courage is important, but it's not actually a requirement. Okay? Jay?
And there's one more thing.
Okay?
You have to be a Democrat or a Republican.
Democrat or
Because there's never
Republican?
been an independence. I think that's what they're
His name
A
is not
Democrat.
mentioned.
A
Brian.
Democrat means that you they want to help the people that
Right.
are poor.
Okay.
And a Republican just wants everything to be normal. The
Okay.
Independents wants it to be like it used to be,
Okay.
where there were no laws.
All right. Really quickly, Kendall, share your comment, and then we're gonna move to some words that while we read our book, I want y'all to kind of listen out for. Jay, you had a lot of useful information there. Kendall, what would you like to share before we
You can
go?
only be president for 8 years. After 8 years of being president, you can't be president no more.
Right. So 2 terms is all you get. So we know that President Obama's there now. This is his 2nd term. He couldn't be president again. There are gonna be 2 new people running. All right. We want to look at our vocabulary words. Some words I want you to listen out for during the reading. This is our first word. This word is adversary. Everyone say adversary.
Adversary.
And I'm going to write it down on the board so that if you hear me say it, you'll know that's one of those words we kind of need to listen for how they use it in context. Adversary is one's opponent in a contest, conflict, or dispute. Some of the synonyms, those are similar words that have the same meaning. Similar words are your opponent, your rival, your enemy, or a competitor. Okay, so when you hear adversary, that's not your best friend. What is that? Your
Enemy.
Your enemy, someone who's against you. Okay? Next word, Pruitt. Alright, what word is that?
Quit.
That word is quip. You will hear it used in our story. The word quip is a verb, and it means I made a witty remark. So if I make a smart aleck remark, that's called a quip. So if I quip, I make a smart remark. Okay? There's one more word I think we need to know. Pruitt shows that one more. What word is this?
Thrifty.
Thrifty. How many of you already know what thrifty means? Anybody? Heard it before?
I know what thrift shop means.
And that's similar. Peyton, what does it mean if I'm a thrifty person? What do you think? It's kind of hard when it's not in a sentence. I understand that. You'll hear it in a sentence in the book, but tell me what ideas you may have. What does that word remind you of?
When I first hear the word, I think thrift shop, so a person that shops at a thrift shop.
I think Brian said the same thing. He's thinking thrift shop. All right, and you're kind of close. Does anyone else have an idea? I know this print's small. You can't see it yet. Blaine, what do you think thrifty means? If your mom is thrifty, what does that mean?
She likes to buy stuff, and maybe she likes to redo it, make it look like it's expensive.
Maybe she likes to make it look jazzed up. Here's what thrifty really means. If you call a person thrifty, first of all, this is an adjective that we use to describe someone. If you call someone thrifty, this means using money and other resources carefully and not wastefully.
Oh, I'm not thrifty at
So do
all.
y'all remember, I'm going to ask Aiden, do you remember when Miss McLemore came with your $7 a few minutes ago? And I said, do you want to be generous? And you said, what did you say?
No.
No. That means Aiden is probably a thrifty person. He's not just going to give me his money because I asked for it. He probably has things that he wants to spend that money on, and he wants to delegate it to what he wants to. So a person that's thrifty, they don't go blowing money. Ooh, I love this shirt. Let me get that. Oh, hey, can I get it in blue, green, yellow, orange, and black too? Okay, now let me get some shoes.
I am so not thrifty.
Can I get those, and those? Oh, I don't care the price. Just ring it up.
What about
That's not a thrifty person.
Oh,
Thrifty
really?
people are people who don't spend a lot of money. They may shop at thrift shops, but they do not like to spend a lot. Does everyone understand that? So thrifty is not a bad thing. Those are usually your people who have a lot in their savings account. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do now, thank you so much, Pruitt, for working our projector. We're going to start reading our story. Okay, so I need everybody to kind of come to the floor. We're going to start reading our story.
Come, children, come.
Don't fight. Just find a seat. If y'all want to use desks, that's okay too. Some of you will be back a little bit. And just leave me a little space to get in and out. I'm going to make sure our camera can see us, okay? All right, has everyone found a seat? Sarah, do you want to stay there, honey? Okay. All right, Brian, find a seat for us.
Perfect.
Find a seat. All right, so the name of today's book is So You Want to Be President. We just talked about some things that are required to be president. You told me what you think, and I told you what the Constitution actually requires for someone to be president. So here is the cover of the book. Of course, we're all in 4th grade. We know what a president is, and y'all already knew a few things about what is required to be a president. But what does this picture on the front remind you of? This picture here on the front, does that remind you of anything? Landon, does that remind you of anything?
It reminds me of the Rocky Mountains.
It reminds you of Rocky Mountains. They kind of look like mountains. Does anyone know the name of these mountains? Catherine, what is the name of these?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Has anyone ever been there? Been there? Really? Have you been there? Awesome. What was it like when you went to Mount Rushmore, Charity? What was it like? What did you see? Was it hot? Was it cold? Did you get all the way up there?
So I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember much, but you kind of remembered when you saw this picture? Okay. Madison, you also went? All right, what do you remember?
And all I remember was I was standing beside him, and it was like a warm day when I was there, but it wasn't as cold. So I stood by him, and Mama took a picture of me and my 5 brothers sitting beside him.
Wow, we'll have to bring that picture. Kendall.
It was for my Aunt Tab's honeymoon. We went there, and it was during winter, so I was all bundled up. And we went into an eye. I don't know which one.
Oh wow! Can you really go into the eyes and mouth and stuff?
You can
Oh,
really go in the
wow.
nose.
So you went in the eye, and what happened?
Yeah. Well, I saw a bunch of birds, and that's kind of all I remember because I was really little.
Well, that's neat. What y'all just did was called making connections. Has Miss Wiggins talked about that with you before?
No.
Making connections to text. Even if Miss Wiggins hasn't necessarily used those words, making connections is something that makes books easier to read. When you can relate what's in a book or what's on a book to your real life, kind of makes it a little easier to read. Okay, so while we're reading this book, we're going to see more pictures and we're going to make connections. We're going to talk about characters. And we're going to use details from the pictures and from the text to talk about it. Y'all understand? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is So You Want to Be President. Our author is Judith St. George, and it's illustrated by David Small. Y'all know what illustrate means, don't you? That means David drew the pictures, okay? Now, don't be alarmed. These are just some little Post-it notes I have just to mark out things that I want you to know or things I want to point out. Very colorful beginning. No words there yet. All right, So You Want to Be President by Judith St. George. There are good things about being president, and there are bad things about being president. One of the good things is that the president lives in a big white house called the White House. Ironic. Very ironic. Big white house called the White House. Another good thing about being president is that the president has a swimming pool, a bowling alley, and a movie theater. The president never has to take out the garbage. The president doesn't have to eat yucky vegetables. As a boy, George Bush had to eat broccoli. When George Bush grew up, he became president. That was the end of the broccoli. So who's this a picture of? Let's use our text.
George Bush.
Good. This is a picture of George Bush. Why do you think he's so happy in this picture? Raise your hands and give me some ideas. Tell me, why do you think he's so happy? What's going on? Mary, why is he so happy here?
He made a circle of a photo in his place.
You said he made a strike? That's awesome, because I didn't even look that far. When we knocked down all the pins, that is a strike, and he's president. That's something to be happy about. What do you think, Pruitt?
No more broccoli.
No more broccoli. Very good. When he became president, that was the end. Alright, let's turn the page. One of the bad things about being president is that the president always has to be dressed up. William McKinley wore a frock coat vest, pinstripe trousers, stiff white shirt, black satin tie, gloves, a top hat, and a red carnation in his buttonhole every day. The president has to be polite to everyone. You paying attention? Are you sure? We don't want you to have to go back and sit, okay? The president has to be polite to everyone. The president can't go anywhere alone. The president has lots of homework. Ooh, y'all thought homework days would be over?
Paperwork.
Not over.
It's paperwork.
Alright, raise your hands if you have something to say. We want to make sure that our hands are raised so that we're being polite, we're being respectful, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. Okay? So some things about this page, it says that the president always has to be dressed up. Would you still want to be president if you had to always dress up? Just raise your hands. If you had to dress up every single day, would you still want to be president? All these hands still want to be president? Somebody give me a time. Let's talk about a time where you have to dress up, where mama will not let you just wear a t-shirt and shorts. Jay, when is a time where we have to dress up? Or you have to? Church. How many of your churches require you to dress up? I know some do, some don't. What's another time we have to dress up? Justin? When you go to a party. Maybe if it's like a formal party. Yes. What about Honors Day? Would you dress up for Honors Day?
What's Honors Day?
When you get awards at the end of the year. You should know. You've been
Awards Day.
How many of you have gotten an award on Awards Day before? Did your mama just let you wear some sweatpants and a shirt?
No.
No.
That made me wear a dress.
Karen, what's another time you had to dress up? I see you said mama made you wear a dress. When's another time you had to dress up? Prom. Who's ready for prom?
Oh.
Alright. Alright, here's another page I really want to focus on. People get mad at the president. Someone once threw a cabbage at William Howard Taft. That didn't bother Taft. He quipped, "I see that one of my adversaries has lost his head." See Taft holding up the cabbage? So, what do you think? How's Taft feeling? Thinking about what I just read, did that really, really upset him? Abby, what do you think?
I think it upset him because it hit him as he was crouched.
Okay, we don't know if it hit him. Let's read that again. People get mad at the president. Someone once threw a cabbage at William Howard Taft. That didn't bother Taft. He clipped, "I see that one of my adversaries has lost his head." Now, we just learned about that word clipped, and we learned about that word adversary. Does anyone remember what clipped means? Michaela?
It's like he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, being sarcastic, making a smart remark. What about adversaries? An adversary a friend of ours?
No.
No. What is an adversary? An enemy. Okay, so basically he's using this situation to make a joke. He's saying, I see one of my enemies has lost his head. That would be funny to me if one of my enemies lost their head. What about y'all? Maybe not nice, but that wouldn't be a problem for me. All right, Catherine?
I was just gonna
You forgot.
But again, a cabbage, really?
I know. I don't know who travels with cabbage in their car.
And, I think I don't want to be president anymore because we all know what happened to Abraham Lincoln. It all went to his head.
Yes. All right, let's keep reading. Lots of people want to be president. If you want to be president, it might help if your name is James. 6 presidents were named James. President Carter liked to be called Jimmy. 4 Johns, 4 Williams. President Clinton liked to be called Bill. 2 Georges, 2 Andrews, and 2 Franklins all became president. They're seeing their names on their shirts. I can make a connection to this. I can think about how many Madisons I have between these 2 classes.
2.
I have Madison Ivy and I have Madison King.
Madison Bergen.
And then I have Madison Bergens. How many Madisons is that?
3.
3. And then I've 6 thoughts. Wow. Hannah, what about you? Make a connection to this.
Well, there's Hannah Hall and me.
Hannah Hall and Hannah McClure. Osie, can you think of someone who has the same name or what that makes you think about?
Well, me and my great-great-grandma have the same name.
Your great-grandmother's name is
But
Osie?
it's spelled different.
Okay, same name though. Gage. I used to have a Gage Redden last year.
I have two things.
Uh-huh.
If I was president and no other
Let's be
Gages was
respectful.
there,
Mm-hmm.
I would be the best president ever.
You'd be the best one ever.
And
I'm
then
sure you
the
would.
second thing, I have lots of people in the first grade, second grade, third grade that have my name.
That have your name. You must be popular.
That's
All right, let's keep reading, guys. You probably weren't born in a log cabin. That's too bad. People are crazy about log cabin presidents. They elected 8. William Harrison was born in a big Virginia mansion, though he won the election with a log cabin and hard cider slogan. So on these pictures, you're seeing names of presidents, maybe the 8 that were born in log cabins.
I want to live in a log cabin.
There's a lot of them. You have Andrew Jackson, Zachary Taylor, James Buchanan. William Harrison was born in a what? What did our text say? A mansion. All right, let's keep reading. This book has a lot of pages, so I'm going to try to get your comments as much as I can. If you want to be president, your size doesn't matter. Presidents have come in all shapes and sizes. Abraham Lincoln was the tallest, 6 feet 4 inches.
Whoa.
His stovepipe hat made him look even taller. James Madison was the smallest, 5 feet 4 inches, and only 100 pounds.
Them ain't gonna fall.
William Howard Taft was the biggest, more than 300 pounds.
I know somebody more than 500.
He was so big that he had to have a special tub built in his White House bathroom. 4 men. 4 men could fit in the tub. Here he is with his special made bathtub. He's even got a crane putting him in there.
He must be that big.
And let's go back. Let's raise our hands. Let's go back to what the text says. How many pounds did he weigh? How much did he weigh?
More than 300.
300.
300. That makes 3 of James Madison because he was only 100 pounds. Okay? Maybe Taft's problem was that presidents can order any food they want. Wouldn't that be nice?
No.
Andrew Johnson, hands off. Andrew Johnson once served his guests turtle soup, oysters, fish, beef, turkey, mutton chops, chicken, mushrooms, string beans, partridges, duck, pudding, jellies, and lots of wine, all at one dinner. Now, what do you think the problem would be if you were 300 pounds? Would that be a problem today? I want someone to raise your hand and kind of tell me why that might be a problem. Why might that not be good for me if I were 300 pounds? I mean, yeah, I'd love to eat all my favorite things all the time, and I'm just thinking about all those foods that I love and that I can really eat a lot of.
Why would I should run to my car and get some prizes out of my
Yes,
car?
you can. You can. All right, so why would that not be good to be 3,000 pounds? 300 pounds.
3,000 pounds.
Because, if you're already 3,000 pounds and you have, not
300.
300, if you're already 300 pounds, and you eat almost all your favorite foods, you gain more weight.
Right, you gain more weight, and why may it not be good for me to gain a whole lot of weight? What might that mean for me in the future, Brian?
Well, back in the 1980s,
Mm-hmm.
when there was a wrestler. He
Mm-hmm.
was a Chinese wrestler. His name was Yokozuna.
Yeah.
He was like 530 pounds.
Oh, wow. But why may that not be good? Why is that a bad thing?
Because you can gain more weight and I don't even know what that thing is.
Okay, Karen, why do you think it may be bad to weigh over 300 pounds?
Two things, because let's say you may not have any friends, and they were making fun of you, and then
Shut like for you to have a seat, please. Go find your seat and sit in it.
And then the other thing is, Mrs. Higgins wants to have 5 Tylers in her class one time.
Alright, well, I'm just going to kind of think out loud right now. I know that sometimes if you weigh a whole lot, people may make fun of you. PE might be hard. It is unhealthy because a lot of times when you're obese, and that's the word that we use for severely overweight, when you're obese, it can cause health problems. And sometimes it can make your life shorter. Okay? Lainey, did you want to share something about that?
Sometimes
Exactly. That's right. Sometimes it's hard to get around. It's hard to have fun. Okay? Let's keep reading about these presidents. Though the Constitution says you'll have to wait until you're 35, young, old, and in between have become president. I'm sorry, this is not a real life. Can you hand me that? Thanks. Theodore Teddy Roosevelt at 42 was the youngest. He had pillow fights with his children and played football on the White House lawn. You must always remember that the president is about 6, a friend said. Ronald Reagan was the oldest. When he first ran for president, he was 69. He joked that it was the 30th anniversary of his 39th birthday. So who is this?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. He was a very playful person. How do I know that he was playful? Are there any details in here that tell me he's a playful guy? Dakota, can you see anything? He's playing with trucks. And what else? What did it say he likes to do? Anybody remember? Jessica?
play football on the White House lawn.
He played football on the White House lawn. I'd be a little afraid to do that. Peyton, what do you think?
And he had pillow fights with his children.
Good. Pillow fights with his children. So that lets me know he's really playful. Some presidents joked and some didn't. Presidents' personalities have all been different. William McKinley was so nice that he tried to stop a mob from attacking the man who had just shot him. Tyler, is something over there? Okay. He tried to stop a mob from attacking the man who had just shot him. Benjamin Harrison was so cold that one senator said talking to Harrison was like talking to a hitching post. Calvin Coolidge was so shy and quiet that a dinner guest once made a bet that she could get him to say more than 2 words. "You lose," he told her. Andrew Jackson certainly wasn't shy. When he ran for president, his opponents printed a list of his duels, fights, shootings, and brawls. 14 in all. That's not good. If I can make a list of 14 fights that you had, I don't think I would still want to elect someone that angry.
I'm like sorry, but not today.
Right, yeah.
Why would you be afraid to play football in the White House lawn?
I just think about the White House as a really formal place. Everyone is all dressed up, security's tight. You know, I just wouldn't feel comfortable playing on the field.
You might hit the White House
Yes.
too.
I need someone to do me a favor really quickly. Our time is nearing to where we are supposed to change classes, but I want to get through a few more pages with you. So I need this person to go ask Miss Wiggins, can I have you for 15 more minutes? Yes. Abby, will you go ask her, can I have you for 15 more minutes, please? Alright, we're going to keep on reading. We've learned some really interesting things about presidents. Most of the time, I think of them as really formal people who don't really play around, but we're learning that they're silly, they love to eat, and we learned that they can be young, they can be old, some really interesting things. Peyton?
I've always wondered, like, if you had, is there only one White House, or is there more here?
Well, there's one here. There's only one here. All right, we're going to keep reading because we've got a lot of pages to go. Hands down. Don't worry about your looks. Abraham Lincoln was a homely man, but he was one of our best presidents. He reunited the country by winning the Civil War. Someone once called Lincoln two-faced. if I am two-faced, would I wear the face that I have now? Lincoln asked. Here's Lincoln. Can anyone look at this picture or think about what I just read? What does it mean if someone calls you homely? Is that a nice thing to call someone? No. What does homely mean? Lainey, what does homely mean?
You sort of wear like clothes that don't really look like you wear out.
Clothes that don't look good. All right, let's see what they have to say about William Harding. We're going to do a little compare and contrast. William Harding was a handsome man, but he was one of our worst presidents. He gave government jobs to his crooked friends. I am not fit for this job office and never should have been here, he admitted. So you have Abraham Lincoln, who is homely, and you have Warren Harding, who is handsome. These are two opposite things. So handsome means good looking. What does homely mean?
Bad looking.
Bad looking, not so good looking. And sometimes it does have some things to do with your clothes and things, okay? 1 second, sweetheart. Do you have pesky brothers and sisters? Every one of our presidents did. Benjamin Harris takes the prize. He had 11. How many brothers and sisters? 11. Sit down, Charity. Find a spot and stay. It's lucky he grew up on a 600-acre farm. James Polk and James Buchanan both had 9. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and John Kennedy each had 8. 2 presidents were orphans, Andrew Jackson and Herbert Hoover. Let me go ahead and get your comments.
I was just going to say, and this is related. I know a lady who wrote a book. It's about presidents and their pets. I can probably bring it on Monday.
That would be great.
It's a long book, but I could just show the pictures. It said that Teddy Roosevelt had a bear as a pet because he was shooting and he saw a mama bear with her cousin. He said, "I can't kill this bear."
That's great. Kendall, if you'll bring us that book, that'd be great. Kendall?
My mom, my mom's dad, he has 11 sisters and 3 brothers.
Wow, so your mom's dad is similar to Benjamin Harrison.
I feel bad.
But more.
Yes. All right, a president in your family tree is a plus. John Quincy Adams was John Adams' son. Theodore Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt were 5th cousins. Benjamin Harrison was William Harrison's grandson. James Madison and Zachary Taylor were 2nd cousins. So you have a lot of presidents that have actually been related. Brothers, cousins, sisters. And they're showing you a family tree. Why would they show me a family tree? What do we put on a family tree?
Family.
Our family. And we show how everyone's related. So I think this was a really cool picture to include.
I'm
Here's really quickly.
This is related. When you read that page about when they could eat anything that they wanted, well, that is kind of me because I have a good appetite. And
Great
me
connection.
and Caitlin and Jatavion are related.
Okay, good connection. Some presidents threw money around, and some were penny pinchers. James Monroe ordered French silverware, china, candlesticks, chandeliers, clocks, mirrors, vases, rugs, draperies, and furniture for the White House. 93 crates in all.
Whoa.
He spent a lot of money,
That must
didn't
have
he?
cost like $1 million, like to get it and come to the White House.
If he bought 93 crates of furniture, that must have cost a lot of money. I think you're right. So let's look at the next page. William Harrison was thrifty. There's one of our words. He walked to market every morning with a basket over his arm. So we talked about what thrifty means. Does William Harrison spend a lot of money when he goes out? No. Look at the picture of William Harrison and look on this side at the other president. You see all of this stuff that he's bought, but does William Harrison have all that stuff? What's in his hand?
Basket.
Just a basket.
He's greedy.
Okay? Yes, the other one may be greedy. Okay? All right, Sarah, what do you need, sweetheart?
I'm related to the president.
You're related to a president. What president?
I think it's Zachary
Taylor?
I think. I
Wow.
can't remember the last name.
That's neat. So you may have a nice job one day. All right, we're only going to read about 2 more pages. I know Miss Wiggins has some spelling tests and things for y'all to do. We're going to read about 2 more pages of this. We have encountered all of our words, but we're going to read about 2 more pages, and then we're going to finish the rest tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. I don't come to school Saturdays. All right, we'll finish it maybe on Monday. Do you have a pet? How many of you have pets? All kinds of pets have lived in the White House. Mostly dogs. Herbert Hoover had 3 dogs, Tiny, Snowflake, and Tut. Tut must have been a Democrat. He and his Republican master never got along. Franklin Roosevelt's dog, Paula, was almost as famous as his owner. George Bush's dog wrote Millie's book, Adventures of a White House Dog, as reported to Mr. Bush. Ulysses S. Grant had horses. Benjamin Harrison's goats pulled his grandchildren around in a cart. The Coolidges had a pet raccoon. Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton preferred cats. So now you're seeing pictures of all these animals. Charity, please stop. You're seeing pictures of all these animals that presidents have had as pets. Okay?
Good thing there was.
Madison Ivy. Okay, go ahead, Madison. All right, we're just going to read one more page. We're going to only read one more, okay? Theodore Roosevelt's children didn't just have pets. They ran a zoo. They had dogs, cats, guinea pigs, snakes, mice, rats, badgers, raccoons, parrots, and a Shetland pony called Algonquin. To cheer up his sick brother, young Quentin once took Algonquin upstairs in the White House elevator. Now, I didn't know that they allowed animals in the White House. Once again, like to me, it seems like such a formal place. And for someone to have a horse in there, a goat in there, I know you love horses. So right now, I just kind of want to close by making some connections about what we just read about these pets. What is a pet that you already have or that you would like to have? And would you take that pet with you to the White House? Brian? Charity, no ma'am.
I do have like 3 pets. One is not really my pet, but it comes around my house a lot. I have 2 cats. One cat, it hides around a lot. And I got a question. What's a Shetland pony?
A Shetland pony is a miniature horse.
A miniature horse. Okay. So, Brian, would you take your pets with you to the White House if you were president?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. I think I would too. Kendall?
I've got 6 horses. Macy, Rebel, Chloe, Zoe, Gracie, Jasmine.
Wow.
And then Jasmine's about to have a baby, and if it's boy's going to be Jasper. If it's girl, Dakota.
Awesome.
And then I also have a dog.
You have a dog too? Would you take all the pets with you to the White House? Awesome. Awesome. All right, Abby.
I have 2 dogs. One of them's a big heater named Lulu. One of them's a Susie Caddy. And then Lulu, when she goes around people, she tries to fight them.
Oh.
And then Callie, I might bring Lulu because she's just calm.
So you would bring your more calm, well-behaved dog. I think that's what I'm going to have to do because I don't want my dog cutting up in front of everyone. Kinley, what about you? Do you have any pets and would you take them to the White House with you?
I have a dog named Puppy Girl.
Named Puppy Girl.
Oh, yeah, Puppy Girl.
And I wouldn't take her because she growls at people every time
Oh.
she sees somebody. But she thinks that I don't like her. I probably would. But she tries to say.
So Kinley would not take her dog because her dog growls at people. All right, we're going to take one more and then we're going to close up. Pruitt.
I have 3 dogs.
3 dogs.
And I just found one, so I would take him.
Uh-huh.
Bear, Peanut, and Jimmy. And then I have 4 cats. Marmalade, Hagrid, Boo, and Shadow. And I would take them. And then I have a turtle. He
Wow.
doesn't really have a name.
Just turtle.
Michelangelo.
All right, so guys, we didn't get, excuse me, we didn't get to finish our book today, but we can finish our book on Monday. This book is telling you all these things about President, but what I really want you to take away, hold on 1 second, Catherine, please. One thing that I want you to take away from this book is that anybody can be president, no matter what your shape, your size, what you like, what you don't like. Anybody could be president, but presidents are regular people. They're just like Ryan and Tyler and Michaela. They're regular people. They went to school. They have things they like to do, and they do some of the things that you like. Some of them played football. Some of them had horses. Some of them had dogs. Presidents are regular people. So if you ever meet one, don't act like they're a celebrity. They're well known, but they're regular people. And that's what I really want y'all to understand about this book. We're reading about qualities that make them just like us. Does that make sense? Okay. Closing comments. I'll just take one from Lucy.
Well, we do presidents, but you got to follow the rules, though.
You do have to follow rules. But are they regular people?
Yes.
Could Gage be president one day?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Could Hannah be president one day?
Yes.
Yes. Because the rules didn't say man or woman. It just had 3 member requirements. All right, y'all have got to get to Miss Wiggins' room. I'm going to stop my tape, and we're going to talk. Go ahead and go pack up, please.
I have cousins about that.
Yes, you can. Hey, how are you?